Hey, what's your shinkers, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we will share with you guys about the 3 things that I always use during maintenance. So without further ado, we'll just jump straight to it. So the very first thing that I consider a very important tool is actually nets. So you can see that I have a lot of nets, and they come in various lengths and of course various sizes too. And one of the important things is that nets is like an extension of your arm. So we do not want to always put our hands into the tank, and that's the reason why nets are very critical. So all of our nets are actually customized in the sense that the length, as you can see that it is longer than the tank, which is always the case because as we reach out to the far end of the tank, we really want to have that additional length so that your fingers and your hands do not touch the water. So that's the first part of it. And as you can see that the second part of it is there are many other colors. So we have tried many different types of colors, and we realized that in summary is the ones with the greenish net often has a better catch rate, in the sense that the streams kind of like accept the green color versus, like for example, purple or different types of colors like black. Black is actually not very good in terms of netting. However, they are very good in terms of from a collection standpoint. So if you like nets, a black net looks wow. But in terms of netting the streams, it doesn't do a great job. So nets, other than the standard stream nets that we often have, I always make sure that they are always hard. The nets are hard so that they do not crush the streams when we net them. And of course, there are different sizes to it. So we actually get the manufacturer to actually manufacture. These are all handmade nets. So these are made slightly larger. It helps to net things a little bit faster. And for those resets that we do, we usually use a fish net, also a large net. Let's see if we can. Yeah, it's right here. So we have a large net, though these are the normal fish nets that we use for resets, and these are very important things and tools that I often have in handy when it comes to maintenance. Nets is generally one of the most important part of it. So for example, what can we actually do when a net is old and it start to get flimsy? So what we do is that we repurpose them. We repurpose them into different types of sand, substrate leveler. So we kind of cut away the nets, and then we use this as a substrate leveler. So it works extremely well on substrate. So they can actually move versus the normal scrapers, that we use to level for planter tanks. Those do not allow gravel to actually go through. So with this, you can actually go through and make it really flat. So what other things do we use the nets for? So we do have smaller nets over here, shorter ones, of slightly different length. And these are often used during selection and of moving and packing of streams. So these are very useful because when we put like a breeder box in there, you can actually net them much easier. Because if you use a long net, it hits the top of the rack. So these are all customized so that it doesn't hit the rack. So what do we use, like for example, if we have a lot of these nets that are kind of like softened, and what do we normally use? So over here you can actually see that this is another net that is repurposed. So what we do is that you can actually bend them, you can bend them upwards, and then you get a a vertical shape, an L-shaped net. So you can put a suction cup and you can put in the tank. Over here you can have your if let's say you have eggs, your stream mold during they have eggs and they mold, you can actually put the fail mode with the eggs in the net, and then of course you can run the filter through it. So it actually helps flow to the eggs so they can actually hatch. So we don't use a egg tumbler. We just use a very simple net that we actually attach it to the side of the tank and then let the filter water flow, the output of the filter water flow through it. So we have many success with that as well. So that's the very first thing is, like I said, nets. So the second part of it is really about the cleaning equipments that I use during maintenance. So sponges are very important for me. Sponges where we use to clean the glass, the tanks, and of course, we have that magnetic ones. But we are trying to use a lot of these sponges and try to see which one is the best. So we have scrubbers, different type of sponges. We have plenty of them to really clean the glass and for different areas of the glass as well. We also started trying, towel sponge, which is very soft. It retains moisture, and it's very good for cleaning the edges of the glass, the glass edges and the side of it. So these are really good stuff. However, in order to polish, the front of the glass, if let's say you want to polish the front of the glass, we use this one that is from 3M. It's a glass. It's like a glass cloth. It's like microfiber, but it's not really those type of microfiber like this. These ones actually do a very great job in removing any of these hand stains, the fingerprint stains and marks on it. So it helps to clean this. So we often use this before a photo shoot. If let's say there's a photo shoot, we will use this to clean. So these are very important stuff. And for hands, definitely, we have this like normal microfiber, which are very good in absorbing water. However, there's one cloth that I use to clean my hands a lot is, and we find that this is really good, it's the Aquarium Co-op cloth towel, because this hand towel is really thick, and we have people asking, do we actually carry them? So unfortunately, we do not have them in this shipment. However, this is really a good cloth. It's really thick and it's really good for cleaning your hands. Another one is just a small dish cloth, which we use to, during recess, we kind of like clean the tank. So we do not use, we use separate cloth for different types of purposes. We do not want to mix them, one for the tank and then one for the rest of, the stuff. And we come back to sponges. So we actually have these sponges over here. We got it from those dollar store, it's really cheap. They call it the magic eraser, and you can actually use these. These are actually what we use this for is, as mentioned, at the top of this watermark, the stains on the surface of the glass, and that's where we use that to actually clean it. And then of course, do we use any of it, like how do we clean off the stains on the top of this? We actually try many other types like vinegar and things like that, white vinegar. It helps to clean off those stubborn stains. However, we do not go in depth to really clean the whole glass to be spotless clean. So from the cleaning perspective, these are the tools or the equipments and the towels that we use. Of course, we also use like squeegees. These are really, if let's say we want to really polish the glass, we use this to actually clean them for that purpose. But however, for the interior of the tank, we do not use any of the equipment, any of the sponges to actually clean it. We use ramshorn snails and other invertebrates to actually do it, and that's for another topic. And for the last part of the video, we actually want to talk about the breeder box, cups, marks, and things like that I always use during transportation, moving streams around and all that. So like for example, we use like a large breeder net to actually hold the streams in there for deveining purposes, for different type of purposes, so we can actually hold them. It's a very inexpensive net box over here, and it serves its purpose. Of course, if you have very tiny little streams, then of course these holes will not be sufficient, because this is quite large, and then you can, the baby streams will actually come out of it. So what other types of, breeder box or holding cups? So these are very important that I always use either to scoop the water, fill in the water, put the streams in, move things around. I think these are really, really handy, and it's inexpensive. And of course, we have been trying other types of floating boxes or breeder boxes. We can actually see that when we put this in, it actually floats. However, for these ones over here, they are the hole size is too big for streams. So these are very good for like your fishes. And we have one that is mesh type. However, the quality of this is like those PET plastic bottles, which is not something that I would even recommend. So these are, but one other, there's actually two that we actually recommend. One is like the stream breeder box, where you can have actually mesh nettings over at the side, so it allows water to flow through. However, when we start to use this more and more often, this is relatively heavy, and it's also quite costly. But we also have another one that we often now we are trying out, is that a square box, which is quite a hard plastic, and it has holes at the bottom, so which means that probably some of this, when we do the deveining process, it actually can help to remove some of those directly into the tank. But I think maybe the size of the hole is too small, and it may not be able to do a good job in removing the stream's vein or the poop of the streams into the tank. So it actually floats. All of these are floating ones, and I think that they are really awesome, and I will definitely try a few more of these floating devices during netting and things like that. And of course, we have the reset box. We can also use the reset box to actually house the stream and then remove them. However, those are only for the bigger streams, so that the legs do not get trapped into it, or if it's too small, then the streams will actually come out from the reset box. So cups and floating devices, these are really good ones that I often use. And for anything that is hanging outside, we actually use the aquarium co-op ones that is hanging outside. So those are for hanging outside, but most of the time we use all these devices, equipments, to actually house the streams that is inside. So when packing our streams, moving our streams, we usually want to do it inside. And one of the reasons for having all this inside the tank versus outside is when we start walking around, we do not want to accidentally brush or knock onto those boxes, and then it topples onto the floor. So that's the reason why we want to use it inside. I think that's a much safer approach in that sense. However, whatever you choose, I think whatever that works well for you, you can do it. But for us, we are using all of this. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it has given you some insights, and until next time, peace out.